I remember working on my marketing agency and I felt those feelings of limitation. Like I could be serving people at such a higher level. Like I was feeling frantically burnt out. And why? And why am I doing this to myself? And when does this get better? Like I'm working. When does it get better? I was endlessly doing all the time out of a scarcity mentality. And it wasn't until I addressed some of these internal beliefs, fears, doubts. That's when I brought myself some incredible peace of mind and I saw the results externally because of that. So in this video, you're going to learn how you can shift from a scarcity mindset to an abundant mindset. And this naturally causes you to level up in all areas of your life. There's that quote, a rising tide lifts all ships. So when we look at raising your level of consciousness, what does this mean? Okay, what does this mean? This can look like a lot. This can look intimidating for sure. But we're going to cover a practical understanding of raising your level of consciousness and why this is the most important work you can do. So we're going to cover what is it? Why should I care? Why should you care? And how do you take action on it? Okay, so a general practical understanding of this topic. And if we had to sum it up once again, understanding raising your consciousness at a general level, why it's relevant to you, and what to do about it. That's the goal with this video. That's the goal. But I first want to start with who this video is for, because this video is really for a past version of myself. Because I know what it's like to be working on an online business, like I mentioned, and just be stressed out of your mind. I was working on my digital marketing agency, and it wasn't until I untangled some of these internal things to where I felt myself just get lighter. Like I quieted the mind. And it was really when I started working with a coach where I saw the best results on that. It was a very interesting time for me because I went 8 months. I literally had an 8-month period where I was working with one client. And then I had this 2-week period where I went from working with one client to working with 5 clients. And it was a really baffling time for me, just seeing the results come from the inner work that I was doing. So this video is for the stressed online business owner, for the person operating out of a scarcity mentality, who doesn't want to be a slave to their business, the person lacking clarity, purpose, and accountability with what they're doing, feeling out of alignment with their work, and working long 10+ hour days just because, okay? Busy work. And I like this quote from Tony Robbins because this sums up the work pretty nicely. Success is 80% psychology and 20% mechanics. That's a great way to look at it. And that's why this is the most important work you can do. So what this video is and what this video is not. What are we doing here? This video is not another sales funnel, strategy, script, or tactic. All right? It's surface level stuff. This is foundational. This video is not for the person who has no interest in online work. Okay? This video is not a service level approach to business or life for that matter, for the person who doesn't look to feel more freedom, peace of mind, and abundance. This video is the most important work you can do in your life and business. This is where everything else stems from. Are you working out of scarcity? Are you doing like there's not enough time out of scarcity? Or are you working out of abundance? Are you working in that creative flow? What this video is for the person who runs an online business or has experience working online and looking to take it to the next level. When intuitively you know there's more. a foundational approach to business for the person who looks to feel more freedom, peace, and abundance in their lives, okay? And this video is ultimately about transitioning to the new way of work, okay? Because naturally, with raising your level of consciousness, it involves feeling more freedom for yourself, and work is obviously a big part of that. So the old way of working is following the traditional work schedule of working 8+ hours per day, feeling a lack of purpose with your work, slaving away just for the money, stuck in a certain location to work at a certain time, work during the week to have fun on the weekends, okay? Should sound pretty familiar there. 2, transitioning to the new way of working, which is working 3 to 5 hours of deep work sessions per day. Feeling a vibrant inner vision and drive for their work. I love these words right here. Vibrant inner vision. Working to serve people at the highest level is not bound to a specific location or a specific work hour. Works to create extraordinary life experiences instead of acquire these surface level material things. Okay? So great. Now we can get into what is it? What is it? The grand question. Okay? Because like I said, this can look like a lot, but it doesn't have to be. Because this is a practical understanding. So what is it? In a general sense, it's creating a more enjoyable human experience for yourself and learning more about how things work. So, there's 3 key points to explore and understand here in learning about how do I raise my level of consciousness. It's understanding the logical mind, the intuitive heart, and living in alignment. And these 3 all play into one another. Because with the logical mind, we aim to quiet the mind, and in quieting the mind, we naturally deepen our connection with intuition. And in deepening our connection with intuition, we naturally live in more alignment with who we are, work on what we're supposed to be working on, eat what we're supposed to be eating, moving, exercising how we're supposed to be moving, right? So there's a lot there, what I just said. There's a lot there, okay? But we're going to get into it. So let's start with the logical mind. What is it about the logical mind that's going to help us raise our level of consciousness? Well, there's 3 goals here. We want to separate the mind from intuition. So pretty much everyone lives in the logical analytical mind, in that survival paradigm. The logical mind is trying to predict, protect you from danger. Basically, it's that inner voice, blah 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 blah, always talking to you, right? Very fearful, anxiety ridden. So we're separating the mind from intuition, and we do that by quieting the inner voice through a practice like meditation, for example. We're letting the thoughts be there. Oh my goodness. If there's one thing that you could take away from this video, and this is one of the biggest learning points that I've had with this work, you can let the thoughts be there. You can let thoughts be there without trying to modify them. They're not going to hurt you. You don't have to take them that seriously. Oh my goodness. How powerful is that? And I want you to practice that and notice how you can get better at it. Practice letting the thoughts be there without touching them, per se. Like clouds just going by. Let the thoughts be there. So in understanding that and quieting the mind, naturally, we deepen our connection with intuition, to our emotions. And the goal here is to separate intuition from the mind. Okay? So you deepen your connection with intuition and your emotions by doing that and what's best for you. Because intuitively, you know what's best for you. But why don't we do it? That's what we're getting at here. Okay? Intuitively, you know what's best for you. And it doesn't take thinking. Really. Okay? So deepening your connection with intuition is living more in flow. Okay? If there's one thing to take you out of flow, it's thinking too much. It's overthinking. And by doing that, okay, naturally we live in more alignment. Because like I said, you know what's best for you. But the mind will try to scare you out of doing certain things, like approaching the girl, like starting something new. So it's understanding overall the human animal. It's getting out of survival mode by quieting the mind. And it's aligning yourself with intuition, with the right food, movement, work, okay? So you can start to get a sense of how powerful this can be. Like, this is pretty incredible stuff. And this is one of the most important parts of this video too. And this is a map that you can look up online. You can print it out for yourself. But this is developed by David R. Hawkins. This is an author, therapist dude. And basically he made this map to put this into a very practical manner. So we're leaving the survival paradigm, essentially. And we're going to the higher states of consciousness, which involved abundance, optimism, willingness, courage, neutrality, right? When I say that living in survival is heavy, dense, difficult, very rigid, it's not too hard to understand that. When I say that living in these higher states of abundance and love and optimism, it's a lot lighter. You feel a lot lighter and more natural. It's more enjoyable. So awesome. We covered what it is. And I hope these three summed up a lot and answered a lot of questions, because I think it's a very good way of looking at it. So let's go to why should you care? Well, I spoke a lot in what is it, and you should get a sense for why you should care, right? Because it's the foundational level of your life. If you look at all the external things, okay, what your level of consciousness and where you come from, right, of scarcity or abundance, your level of consciousness is your foundational level. So what does your foundational level consist of? Where is your backbone? Where does that lie, right? Do you come from scarcity or abundance, positivity, negativity, fear, or courage? Okay? So this is the foundational level right here. And everything above it is the external. This is the sales script. This is your house. This is your material things. Everything else. Okay? But it's where are those things stemming from? It's the roots in your tree of life, per se. I just made that up. Actually sounds pretty good. Actually sounds pretty good. But it's your roots. Where are you coming from? Okay? So great. We go back to this map of consciousness now. Where are you stemming from? Okay? Are you stemming from fear or willingness? You want a more enjoyable human experience for yourself. I can almost guarantee you that. You want to live out of abundance instead of scarcity. And you want to have that translate into all areas of your life, your work, your business, your family, your relationships, social time, experiences. You want to know that there is enough for everyone. You want a greater human connection with people. You want to live more in alignment with nature, work, habits. And you want to have habits that serve you and others. So, that's a general practical understanding of why you should care about this work. Let's move on here. How do you actually take action? How do you actually take action to becoming more aware, to learning how things work, for creating a more enjoyable human experience for yourself? and letting go of the limiting beliefs, the fears, the self-doubt, the loud inner voice, those things keeping you weighted down. Well, like we talked about in the first module, if you will, we talked about quieting the mind, deepening intuition, and living in alignment, okay? And how do we do these things exactly? Well, to quiet the mind, we practice silence. And you can look at practice silence as some different things here. You can look at the silence as non-stimulus. So whether that's sound, actual noise, right? Visual stimulus, TV, screen time. You want to practice silence from those things. And of course, practices like meditation, contemplation are great ones. We're going to get into a few of them here. Taking abundant actions, we'll talk about that. And understanding that the past and future are unnatural places to live. Oh, I love this topic. I love that. So let's start with practicing silence. We want to practice silence. We want to quiet the mind with daily meditation for at least 15 minutes. And more if you'd like. Like I said, quieting the mind deepens your connection with intuition. And when you don't have that inner voice chattering at you 24/7, blah, 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 and listening to it, you create a lot more peace for yourself. So that's what we're doing with this practice. Another thing is work with no music or distractions. Go to the gym with no music or distractions. Work away from screen time, right? Turn off the notifications, do all that. Abstain from alcohol, smoke, sex. And of course, you can look at this stuff as, you don't have to abstain from this forever. Right? That's not what I'm saying. But it's when there's addictive qualities is when it becomes an issue. It's when it affects your work, your peace of mind. Right? So, another thing about how do I take action? Take abundant actions. What does that look like? What are abundant actions? These are actions that you take that get you out of your comfort zone and you practice abundance. So tip someone more than you are comfortable with. That's a great one to practice. When you tip the waiter, the person at the restaurant, more money than you're comfortable with, that's a nice one. Because right away, you do that generous act and you get the abundance right back to you. You feel good. And you practice yourself on those feelings. Train yourself on the feeling of internal abundance. So like I just said there, train yourself, talk to yourself in abundance. And I'll let you depict some of this for yourself, okay? Another thing is buy yourself another example, buy yourself a gift spending more than you are comfortable with. This is getting you out of your comfort zone. And money is always a good one to practice the abundance. This is a great one. So how do you take action? This is more of an understanding. An understanding of the past and future being unnatural places to be. And I actually just made a video on this, which maybe I'll link in this part here. But the past and future are unnatural. And the body sends the signal for us. When we live in the past too much, we feel depression. When we live in the future too much, we feel anxiety. The natural place to be is right now. And with a deep understanding of that, you can bring an incredible amount of abundance and freedom and peace into your life with understanding that right there. The present is your natural state of being. The present is your natural state of being. Everything that has ever happened has happened in the now. And that's where you want to live. So, a little message for you here to wrap things up. Starting anything new feels weird the first few reps. Give yourself time and do the reps, okay? When we talk about something like meditation, practicing silence, abstaining from things, the addictive food, screen time, practicing silence in general, it's going to feel weird if that's not what you do, right? Starting anything new feels odd. Imagine shooting a basketball for the first time. Now apply this understanding to your scarcity mindset. Practicing and speaking in abundance is going to feel weird. You've been complaining and scraping every penny your whole life, okay? It's just understanding of anything new feels weird the first few times. If it is your first few times, right? So it's really important understanding that. So that is that. And I want to say, if you are interested in this work and you're feeling stuck with your online business, and maybe you're looking to take it to the next level, okay, I will leave a link in the description below where you can book in a call and we can speak more about possibly working one-on-one with this. And like I said, this is the most important work you can do. And it's pretty incredible. The experiences that I've had with it so far. And it's when you have someone to listen to you and really take a look at your belief systems. That's where I've seen the best results for myself, is when I've worked one-on-one with a coach. And I have that person reflect back at me what they're seeing, what they're thinking. It's when you're held accountable towards your goals, right? That's where you see yourself level up at hyperspeed. So I feel very fortunate to give people this opportunity, right? And to give this valuable information here to others. But it's all a matter of where you are coming from, right? Are you coming from scarcity? Are you working out of scarcity? Or are you working out of abundance? You don't need to get trapped in that endless pit of doing. Like, you can bring some serious ease and peace of mind into your life. It is possible. So if you're interested, we can see if there's a fit to work together one-on-one with the link in the description below. But I appreciate you watching through till the end here. So, see you soon.